welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. And joining us as Animal Wrangler again this week is our ever-reliable volunteer, Tammy. And our first guest is relatively new to the adoption floor, and she's one of our seniors that we have available for adoption right now. This is Micah, and she is a 6 to 7 year old pit bull mix, and she does not act like she's a senior at all. She loves toys, as you can see. She likes to play, and she has definitely no trouble getting around. And she's a very sweet dog, but she can be, according to our staff, a little bit nervous at times. When she's, in new situations that she's not familiar with, but she's done really well since she's come out here. She's not shown really any anxiety. She's been excited to greet new people and to play with toys. She also knows sit and down on command. She knows those very well. One of the things that is important to understand if you wanted to take Micah home and make her part of your family is that she does have chronic ear infections. So that's something that you have to be able to be willing to undertake both financially and just dealing with medicating and things like that when necessary. Because she has a tendency to be a little bit nervous and those ear infections, she doesn't like to have her ears rubbed and touched. Sometimes it makes her a little irritable. We're suggesting that she go to a home that has older children or is an adult-only home, just to make sure that she doesn't get into a situation where she would be uncomfortable, or maybe somebody does something that causes her to react in a way that might not be her typical personality. But according to our staff here, she's very friendly when you approach the kennel. She doesn't really jump up and bark at you when you walk by her kennel like some of the other dogs. She really prefers to be outside, according to our volunteers. So she kind of cries and whines a little bit in her kennel because she wants to go out and run and play. She likes to have her belly rubbed, and she likes to have kind of her rump scratched. She's just a very, this is kind of more what she is. When you see her in the kennel, she kind of looks, she's eager to go out. She doesn't want to hang out inside all day. She wants to be out running around and playing. This is kind of more of a real representation of her true personality. If you did want to meet with her and see if she would be a good fit to add to your house, you would want to stop by Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Sergeant Eugene. He came to us as a stray. He's about 2 to 3 years old, but he has tons of puppy energy, and he is a very handsome guy. I love his kind of chocolate coat and the little on his white face, the little chocolate freckles. He's just super cute. He's an Old English Bulldog mix, so something a little different than our typical pit bull mix. And like I said, he came to us as a stray, so we don't know a ton about him. What we do know about him is that he is a playful, goofy guy. He's also very strong. You can see kind of the definition, the muscle definition in his legs and all over his body. So he's a strong guy. If you're not prepared to walk a strong dog, then maybe Sarge is not going to be the right pet for you. Our staff says that he, aside from being, energetic and goofy, he's pretty well-mannered. He's a happy dog. He does well around other dogs. He pulls, but it's mostly just an excited thing. It's not awful. It's not the worst. So a harness would be a good thing for him. His previous owner, he was, they filled out a personality profile, but they really found him as a stray and didn't keep him for very long. So it's all they say is that he's a pretty calm guy and that he's very friendly. That's kind of all the information they were able to give for the short time that they had him before they brought him here to us, so that we could try and find his original owners, which we were not able to do. We hold all of our stray animals for 5 days to give the owners a chance to come and find them. We promote, post pictures of them on our stray page and any information we have to kind of help those people know that they're here. But when they don't come forward, then it's our job to find a suitable home for the animals. When you approach Sarge's kennel, he's very friendly and excited. He does jump and bark, but that's just, all the dogs are excited to see people. They think they're going to go out. They're happy to see you. His interactions with other dogs, he's been very playful and excited. He play bows. His excitement levels makes him a little bit harder to get out of the kennel because he's so excited to go on a walk, but he doesn't really have any issues with food aggression. He loves to be petted. He reluctantly gives up objects when you ask for them. He's just a very sweet goofball. So if you are interested in him, you want to stop by and visit with him, make sure that you are actually able to handle his energy level. The adoption fee for dogs like Sergeant Eugene would be $92.50. Our next guest is Murphy, and he's another one of our pit bull mixes. He's about 3 years old. We have a lot of 3-year-old dogs on the adoption floor right now, and that's kind of a great age because they still have a lot of that youthful energy to them, but their personalities are more set. You kind of know what you're going to get. They're starting to mellow out a little bit, but they still have all of that like active, I'm going to play, I want to run around. They're not as kind of, I want to be on the couch as maybe an older dog would be. So a lot of people come in and they're looking for those puppies, and some of our older dogs get overlooked. But when you're getting a puppy, you really don't know what you're going to get. Their personalities are going to change as they grow. When you're getting a dog like Murphy, you know what you're going to get. We have done some behavior assessments on Murphy, and we found that he's, very excited when you approach his kennel, but when he came out here, he was initially very excited, but then he kind of calmed down. He's relaxed. He really enjoys being petted, and he likes the affection that he's getting. He's not very interested in toys according to our assessment. Like if you give it to him, he'll take it, but he'll give it right back to you. He's not, and when he came in, he didn't really pay that much attention to any of the toys that we have out here on the floor. He doesn't really have any serious issues with any food aggression. Like a lot of our strong dogs, if you take a look at him, he has a very strong muscle definition, like many of the dogs that we're going to have on the show today. So he's very strong. He can pull. So that's when you really want to, invest in that harness. It gives you more control. It makes it so that he's not going to hurt himself when he's pulling, but it also kind of makes people more comfortable when they see you walking a strong dog. When you're walking down the street, they know that you have control over him. His interactions with kind of other dogs when he's walking through the kennel, if the other dogs initiate things in an aggressive manner with him, then he will bark and growl back at them, but otherwise he doesn't have any real issues there. He was previously owned, and they had him, it looks like, less than a week. They said that he had destructive behavior that was not notified to them by the shelter prior to adoption. We say in our contract that we want you to give all of our animals 60 days before you make any decisions about whether or not to keep them in your homes. If you are interested in our sweet little Murphy here, then you can stop in the shelter and visit with him. We are open 6 days a week. On Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, the kennels are open from 10 to 5. On Wednesday and Thursday, they're open from 12 to 8. And on Saturday, they are open from 10 to 4. Something a little bit different for you. We have a lab mix next. This is Dalton. He came to us as a stray. We've estimated his age to be about 2 to 3 years old. Dalton is the perfect example of why if you walk past the kennel and you see a dog that you like how they look, you should definitely take them outside of their kennel. When you walk by, as you can see right now, he's very calm. He's taking treats nicely. He's not making a lot of noise. He's interested in the affection that Tammy's giving him. When you walk by his kennel, he is the exact opposite of this. But he, when he's in a home, he's not going to be in a kennel like he is here. So you want to see him outside and see how he's going to be truly with your family. In the kennel, he can be a little bit nervous. He doesn't, so he barks and jumps, and he's a big guy, and he kind of has a deep bark to him. So it can be a little intimidating. But we've seen him have a very sweet side as well. According to our staff, they say he has a lot of energy, but he's also very loving. He doesn't seem to know his own strength, and sometimes he can be a little grabby in how he takes toys and treats, but he seems to be doing okay right now. For that reason, and also for the fact that he has shown a little nervousness, we have suggested that he go to a home with older children. Usually that means over the age of 12, or an adult home only. Another very important piece of information to know about Dalton is that he is Lyme positive. We adopt out many dogs that are Lyme positive here at the shelter, but it's just one of those medical things that you have to keep an eye on. We do not treat with the antibiotics for Lyme disease here unless the animals are showing symptoms, and he is not doing that currently. But that's something that you would want to talk to your vet about if you were to make him part of your family and see if they wanted to start him on that cycle of antibiotics. He would also need to get that Lyme vaccine once that cycle of treatment has been completed. If you were interested in taking him home, he would be adopted for a fee of $92.50. That includes neutering him, getting him microchipped, getting him his rabies vaccine, distemper vaccine, Bordetella vaccine, dewormer, flea and tick preventative, and a well visit to the vet, as well as his county license. So you really can't beat all of the things that you're getting for that price, in addition to a wonderful new member of your family. If Dalton is going to be that member of the family for you, again, stop in and visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. The last dog that we have for you today is Winona, and she's another one of our pit bull mixes, and she's also 3 years old. We have a lot of 3-year-old pits right now. She's got a beautiful red and white coat, and she's got those great ears. She kind of reminds me of a bigger version and a female version of Zeus, but unlike Zeus, she has she's a little overweight, so anybody who will be taking her on needs to get her on an exercise plan and monitor her diet to make sure that she's getting down to a healthy weight for her. Other things that we've noticed about her is based on some of her behaviors, we think that she would do better in a home, again, with older children or adults only, but preferably adults only. That's for a couple of reasons. One being that Winona, when she kind of wants a toy or something like that, she'll grab very hard at them, and we don't want her to accidentally bite a child's hand. We want to send her to a home where the kids are at least old enough to understand that behavior and to maybe drop it on the floor to give it to her instead of maybe handing it to them. Another thing that she does is that she really likes to counter surf, so that can be an issue as well. Making sure that you're remembering to put everything away instead of leaving things out where she might be able to get to them. But otherwise, she's very friendly and excited when you approach her kennel. She gets excited when she walks past the other dogs. She is a puller, so again, a harness would be a very important thing for her to have. She has no issues with food aggression. She just needs some training in areas of like, again, not counter surfing, taking toys and treats gently, which she has been doing better with the treats here with Tammy. But it's just something that she needs to have, a lot of attention and work on. But otherwise, she's, a very friendly dog. She has a lot of love to give. She just needs the right home that can give her the training and the stable environment that she really needs to thrive. And that's going to wrap it up for this portion of Pet Pals. After the break, we will introduce you to 5 of our cats that are looking for their new forever homes.
Child abuse is not an isolated problem. It affects each of us, and it is only through each of us that child abuse can be prevented. Get involved. Call the Child Advocacy Center to find out how to help. 301-600-1758.
welcome back. Normally when we're showing and talking about cats, we're talking about domestic long hairs, domestic short hairs, domestic medium hairs. The first guest today is something a little bit more exotic. This is Lola, and she is a Japanese bobtail. She came to us previously owned, and we get a lot of animals with similar stories. So a child adopts an animal and can no longer care for it for whatever reason, and then they give that animal to their parents. And the parents don't really want to take that on, so then they bring them to us. So it's kind of an important lesson into, you know, whether, regardless of what age you are, you want to make sure that you're taking on an animal and you're prepared and can be committed to that animal for the lifetime of the animal. Whether you're 18 and you still live at home, or you're out living on your own, you cannot rely on your parents to then pick up the responsibility for the animal that you've taken on for yourself. It so happened that Lola was adopted in Japan and then brought back to the States, hence the fact that she's a Japanese bobtail. You can't see it while she's sitting, but she does have a cute little tiny bobtail, and she has a beautiful lynx point coloring to her, and she's one of the more vocal cats on the adoption floor. You can definitely, when she's awake, you know where she's at, because she's communicating to you. She seems to have been quieted down since she's getting attention, so she might just be asking for attention. We're not really sure, but she's perfectly content to sit on a lap and kind of look around and see what's going on, not really trying to get down. She seemed maybe a little anxious, but we've put them in a new situation when we bring them out here, so it takes a little while for them to settle in here, as it would take them to settle in a new home. Lola is about 9 years old, so she is one of our senior animals, and she's also a little overweight, so a diet and some exercise will be a good thing for her. Maybe some time with the laser pointer, chasing that around would be good. It says that she has been exposed to dogs, so if you have a dog in your home and you're thinking that a feline companion would also be a great addition, Lola would be one that would be compatible, as far as she's had exposure to dogs before. They say she's very calm and she's independent. She is a senior, so she would be adopted for our senior reduction in adoption fees. So cats that are 5 to 9 go home for $20 off. Cats that are 10 to 14 go home for $40 off, and cats that are 15 and older would go home for $60 off. Viewers may remember Mary Kate from last week. Mary Kate we're happy to announce, is getting adopted, but this is Amelia, and Amelia and Mary Kate came in together. Amelia is also a senior. She's about 9 years old. She has, a very similar temperament to Mary Kate. They're kind of quiet, lap cats, like affection. Amelia is also a little overweight. So getting her on a diet and having her have some sort of exercise will be really important. When you come to visit Amelia, you will notice that we've shaved a portion of her back. That's because that portion was matted. A lot of people don't realize that when you feed your animals too much, it can have far-reaching consequences. It can lead to diabetes. It can affect their mobility. But in the case of Mary Kate and Amelia, it also affected their ability to groom themselves. So if they're too large to kind of turn around and reach back there, they can't keep it clean, and then it gets matted, and then that's kind of why we've had to shave it. So it's really important to keep all of your animals at a nice healthy weight, so that they can stay healthy and happy for as long as possible. The people who brought in Amelia to us, they took the two cats in when they were abandoned, and now that they are moving, they aren't able to continue to care for them, so they brought them to us so that we could find them new homes. Amelia is color-coded orange, which just means that she's an average cat in our opinion. She likes to be held and handled when she wants to, but when she doesn't, she'll kind of let you know. It also means that when we were clipping their nails and giving them their vaccines, that she didn't she didn't struggle and she didn't fight it too much. The blue color-coded cats kind of are, when we are vaccinating them and doing things that maybe aren't, super comfortable, they're a little more at ease. The orange color-coded cats, understandably are a little more irritable when we're doing those things, but not as irritable as, say, a green color-coded cat. It does say that she can be a little shy. She doesn't necessarily come to the front of her cage, but she went right onto Tammy's lap and sat down and just enjoying the attention that she's getting. She's purring, she's looking around, she's inquisitive, but not trying to escape or hide. It says that she's afraid of loud noises, which is not uncommon. Especially since she's an older cat, we don't know what her previous circumstances were. So sometimes older cats like to be in, quiet, older homes. They don't necessarily want, young kids running around and chasing them and stuff like that. If you want to take this sweet senior home and make her part of your family, you would need to stop in and visit her here at Frederick County Animal Control. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Roger, and he is a handsome tuxedo cat. He's about 1 to 2 years old. He was previously owned, but here, previously owned just means that someone's been caring for the animal for about 2 weeks. We don't have any owner behavior profile on Roger, so all we really know about him is what we've learned since he's been here with us, and he's been with us since August 21st. He was in the back waiting to be processed for about a month. It took him a little while to settle into shelter life, but he has come around amazingly well. From being so shy and kind of scared that he couldn't even go onto the adoption floor to being one of our most affectionate lap cats. Roger loves attention from volunteers. He will sit on a lap for hours if you let him. One of the things that people say now is that he's so comfortable, he gets a nice lap to sit on, and then he will fight you to go back in his cage because that's really what he wants to be doing. So many people come in and they are looking for that cat that's going to want to cuddle with them and be with them all the time, and they make kind of the mistake of looking for kittens. Kittens' personalities are still changing. They could be the most cuddly cat for the rest of their lives, or they could change. When you're getting a cat like Roger, he is old enough to know this is his temperament, this is what he likes, and this is going to be something that he continues to want as he ages. So if you're looking for that cat that's going to, be kind of your sidekick and sit and cuddle with you all day and all night, then Roger is definitely one of the best cats for you. He is a volunteer favorite, and he's definitely come a long way since he's been here with us. Before Roger goes home, he will be neutered. He will be rabies vaccinated. He's already received his distemper vaccine. He's been dewormed. He's had flea and tick preventative. We've gone ahead and microchipped him, as we do with all of our animals. And when you take him home, you'll also get a free well visit to the vet, as well as your county license. So you're getting a lot for your money, and you're getting a really amazing new friend to be part of your house. Taz is a Torby. So she's got the great tabby cat stripes, but she's also got that kind of tortoise shell coloring. She has the blacks and the tans and the oranges mixed in there. And she's 4 years old. Taz, like some of the other cats on the show today, could use a little bit of a diet, but overall she's pretty healthy. She came in with 2 other cats, Sci-Fi and Dixie, who are have already been adopted, and Taz is still waiting to find that special family. Of those 3 cats that came in, Taz was kind of the shyer one, and it's taken her a little time to adjust to living in the shelter. Until very recently, she was kind of hiding under her hammock and didn't really want to come out. She was a little anxious, but now she's coming out. She comes up to the front of her cage. She kind of greets people who are walking by. So hopefully with this new kind of sense of security in her environment, she'll be able to find a home a little bit quicker now. According to her previous owner, she is shy, which is something that we have seen here. Even bringing her out for the show today, she's kind of putting her head kind of in the corner, which is something that they would do. They'll kind of put their heads in between like the crook of your arm to feel safe and secure. She's easy to handle. She's afraid of strangers, which is not uncommon. And she's kind of a lap cat. Again, just like Roger, people are looking for lap cats. Taz is another one of those, but it's just going to take her a little more time maybe to warm up to feeling safe and wanting to hang out with you as much as some of the other lap cats that we have available. But again, Taz is very sweet. She has already been spayed, so it'll be a relatively quick adoption as we don't have to worry about getting her on a surgery schedule. She's already had her vaccinations, her dewormer, her flea and tick preventative. So it's really just a matter of finding her that perfect family. She's also been tested for feline leukemia and feline AIDS. We test all of the cats and kittens that come in for those illnesses, and she tested negative. We always recommend that people do a retest in 90 days, however, because those illnesses do have incubation periods, and we want to make sure that our test wasn't a false negative. As a Torby, she has that orange coloring in her. So if you were able to come in and put in an application for Taz before the last day of October, you would get a $20 reduction in your adoption fee because she falls in that October pumpkin promotion with all of our orange cats. After that day, however, then she would go back to her normal $97.50 adoption fee. The last cat that we have to show you today is one of our kitty cabana residents. He is one of 4 cats that are currently living in there right now. He is the only male cat in there. He's sharing space with Gwen, Dixie, and also Fish, who are some of our longtime residents, which is an interesting thing because his previous owner brought him in because they said he didn't get along with the other cats in the house, and he's currently living with 3 female cats who all have very strong personalities, and he's doing quite well in there. So it's oftentimes about introducing your pets correctly. When we do it, we put them in a room together, but we keep them separated. We have a special transition cage that we use for the new animals, and it gives them an opportunity to get used to each other without being able to kind of get to one another, without being able to hurt each other. And as they get more comfortable, then we start letting them out for little bits of time, and then putting the new animal back in that transition cage, and then eventually they acclimate and they work their way out to being in the open cabana area full time, and then we can add another cat. We can get up to 5 or 6 cats living in the cabana at one time. So if you have another cat at your house, adding Church shouldn't be a problem. He's a very handsome guy. He's a beautiful brown tabby, and he's about 4 years old. He's already neutered, so he would again be a relatively quick turnaround as far as his adoption. Some important things to know about Church: he has also been front declawed, so he would need to be an indoor-only cat. He does not have that primary method of defense. We don't want to put him in an unsafe situation. A lot of people are looking for declawed cats. We do not advocate that here because it's painful for the animals and can alter their personality and can really affect their ability to walk properly. But a lot of people are looking for that, so it's important, choose a cat that's already been declawed. And Church is a fantastic cat. He's had no ill effects from that procedure. Another thing that you'll notice is that right now he has some hair loss. We think that's due to a flea allergy, so we recommend that he be on a monthly topical flea medication year-round. That will protect him from having any of those fleas attacking him and taking up residence on his body. That's painful for him. It's very painful for all cats, but when they have an allergy, it affects them much more severely, and that's where that hair loss comes in. It's that allergic reaction. Again, this is Church, and he is available for adoption here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition. We hope that you tune in next week, where we'll introduce you to another selection of animals that are available for adoption here at the only shelter in Frederick County Animal Control.